Hi, this is John from Mixedstreets.com. Today I'm going to be talking about the way we go about choosing our products, the products we stock on our website. And in so doing, it gives you an example of what you should be doing in choosing the products that you use on your hair or your skin. In this case, I'm going to go through an example from Mixedstreets. Mixedstreets is one of the products we stock on our website. They have a list of shampoos and conditioners, especially for the kids. They have some good selection that we use. So what I'm going to do is go through the ingredient list to tell you what does. So each and every one of them, I'm going to talk about it. Just tell you exactly what you would do. And then from that, we will find out exactly the type of product it is, what you would expect it to do. After that, we will be able to use it. So the first step, go through the list, and then you use it, you see if it works, and then we'll now buy a lot, depending on if our customers like it or not. All right, so this one is the morning after redefining foam. So what I will start doing first is I will go to our website, and in our website, I will try to look at the ingredient list on our website, because that is where we have it, and then go through it. Okay, so first we'll go to the adult page, which is for people, for anyone above 12 years old. That's kind of how we define it. And then we look at the product here, and from there go to the ingredient list. Let's make it a little bit bigger so that it'll be clearer on the screen. Okay, so here we have it. So the first ingredient is water, aqua. That's normal, for most of the ingredients that you would find, or most of liquid products that you find out there would have water as the very first one. This is apart from, let's say, the baby oil or general oil type of products that you just have a mixture of just pure oil. But generally that's normal. You have a very big percentage of water in your products. Now the next one is cocamidopropyl betaine. Now it's a mouthful, and I hope I pronounced it properly. Chances are I didn't do that properly. So what you would do is, if you don't know what the product is, just put it on Google and do the search, and then go to Wikipedia. Normally Wikipedia is a little bit more detailed. It will probably take a little getting used to, because sometimes it will throw you to another page, which should throw you to another page, or some of the terminology might be very difficult for you to follow. Now, what is a surfactant? Surfactants are special because what they do is they reduce the surface tension of what they are put on. Some of the important surfactants are used for detergents because of that special behavior. So it has two parts to it, a surfactant. So it has the oil-loving part and the water-loving part. So the head is the water-loving part, and the tail is the oil-loving part. So say in the case of a soap, when you put the soap on your skin, the oil-loving part will bind to the dirt, and the water-loving part will bind to the water you use to wash it off. So you mix it together on your hands, you lather it, and then you wash it off. The next thing that surfactants are useful for is when you want to have a soft feel on something. When you want, because like I said before, it reduces the surface tension. So if you want something to feel soft on your hand or your hair or something, or whatever you put it on, surfactants is what you go with. And in this case, that's what they have as their biggest ingredient. So that's the very first one. Now, something you have to know, I didn't mention it before about the ingredient list, is that it's the pecking order of the percentage of the amount of that particular substance in the product. So let's say you have three ingredients, for example. One might be, say, 60%, and the other one might be, say, 30%, and the third one will be 10%. But as a trick, they wouldn't tell you what percentage it is. But just know that when you go through the ingredient list, it gets less and less. So the ones at the top are the ones that you have most of on the list. So in this case, that's the first one. Now, it's a surfactant. Then the next ingredient here is glycerin. Now, glycerin is something called a humectant. It's naturally, they make it from naturally growing. It's like a sap, normally from leaves. It's a humectant, helps attract water and moisture to something. So you could see that if you have that in your product and someone uses it, it moisturizes whatever you put it on. I mean, this is used in everything, including food, to keep the food moisturized for a while. Now, that's very powerful. It's one of my favorite humectants, glycerin, and you could see it in so many stuff because it is so useful. So it's quite common. So the next ingredient in the list is xenothiethanol. Now that's a preservative. So this is like the fourth one down from water, the surfactants, the humectants, and then this, which is the preservative. Why a preservative, you might ask? This is one of the misconceptions that people have. A lot of people would think that to have a preservative in your product is a very bad thing. As a matter of fact, it is important to have a preservative in your product. And I'll tell you why. Now, if you don't have a preservative, it will drastically reduce the shelf life of your product, which basically means that by the time the manufacturer creates this and it gets to you, by the time you buy it from the supermarket to get to your, to take it home, it would have gone off. Unless it's put in the fridge to start with. So basically, if you reduce the temperature, things will last longer. Everyone knows this. But it will now move your hair products or your cosmetics and so on to the fridge. That's the first thing. If you have in the fridge, it lasts a bit longer, but again, it's going to go off just like food, because when you put it on your skin and it's gone off, it could give you skin disease and many other things that will come with you putting something decayed on your body. The smell will go off, all these bad things it will start happening to good people. So you need to have a preservative on it. The question is what type. There are parabens were being used in the past, which was very bad, because parabens themselves could give you cancer. That's what the research found. But some people are still argue that the percentage they'll give you that's going to be very high and so on. But why take the chance? I think it's best not to try it anyway. So the fourth ingredient is that. And the next one is xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is very popular to thicken products and to make it foam. Some people use salt as a replacement for xanthan gum, but it's not a good idea because salt will dry things up very quickly. Xanthan gum is made from natural ingredients, so it's a kind of natural substance to give your products more body. When you use it. Some people use that on shampoos, because normally when you do the shampoo mix, sometimes it gets quite it's watery. Most of the ingredients you put in shampoos is watery. When you put xanthan gum, it thickens it. And some people might use that, some people might use salts. Again, like I said, salt is probably not the best thing to go about it. So it's a good choice for them to use xanthan gum. The next one is VPVA copolymer. So this one would it actually adds, it binds to your hair and it thickens it. So it helps the hold of your hair. So back in the 60s, 70s, where they use hairspray to sort of hold your hair in a certain way, which is really terrible. This is the alternative. So it's a film on your hair. So it goes on your hair and then it dries up and it holds your hair the way you want it. Which again defines the characteristic of what this is, which is it helps to style your hair. More on that a little bit later. So if I go back here, the next one, ethyl hexyglycerin. Now again, that is a preservative. So there are two types of preservatives here. Now you're looking at this one is near the bottom. So this is like the seventh product. The seventh ingredient on the list. At this point, it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 2% or something like that. It's going to be really small. 1% really is what you have a preservative. But it's slightly interesting that the other one is a little bit higher. But this is near the bottom, and the next one is the fragrance, the perfume, which is the very last ingredient in this product. And the perfume is just give it a smell. Otherwise, it's probably not have any scent, or you might have a scent from something else that you might not want to smell. Vegetable oils, for example, it's really good for your hair, but it have a certain kind of smell, and you need things like perfume or fragrance to actually give the characteristic or personalize the product. Okay, so I've gone through the list. What does this mean? It tells me exactly what this product will do or what it is suited for, and there are two things that comes out of this from my perspective. The first one is that it is used purely for styling. It doesn't actually give you food for hair. It actually helps you to shape your hair. The only good thing, or one of the good things here, is glycerin, which is really good. Glycerin is going to be humectants, which basically pulls in moisture on your hair and makes your hair feel more moisturized. And that's the third ingredient, so it's pretty high up there. Glycerin is more natural than the cocamidopropyl-butane. I could never pronounce this right, so forgive me. The second ingredient is the surfactant. There is not really more of a foodie type of thing like vegetable oil. The glycerin, the humectant, is more helpful for your hair when it comes to food. So this is like saying a dessert, while a conditioner is like the food that you put in your hair. So this is more of the dessert. So you use this to sort of shape your hair. So that's the first thing I take out of this. The second part is that it's not for kids. For, again, two obvious reasons why it's not for kids. The first one is you wouldn't want to be styling a 3-year-old's hair to kind of give you shape. So you might want to, but the second one is that, again, it's like a dessert. It's not really food. So why would you be using it on your child's hair? You sort of use things on your child to basically keep it healthy, keep it growing, stop it from breaking and stuff like that. This one is not for it. But this has a very important use. It's for styling. So if you want to style your hair to make your hair look good every morning, this is it. So this is definitely focused for adults or people, from my perspective, 8 years and above. It will be very good for. This is what you want to use it for. So anyway, this is a simple roundup of what we'll do or how we go through products and find out what it's going to be used for. So we're going to put it on our adult section on our website, whereby people over the age of 12 could buy it. Okay, that's it basically. I hope this has been helpful. I just ran through the product list. When you want to go through buying a product for your hair, go through these steps, look for ingredient list, dig them up, find out what it is. And the more you take a look at something like this, you start having an idea what it's used for. There's some things you stay away from. One of my first videos seems to be the most popular one that I called Bad Shampoo. It seems to have struck a nerve with a lot of people. It has a list of things that we don't want in our products. In this particular case, anything sulfates, anything paraben. So those ones, I kind of stay away from it. The rest, we kind of try to choose. Okay, I hope you liked it, and thank you very much.